What's up guys, Solar Renekton only here, back with the best 10 top laners for patch 6.6. I think it's time for me to stop being a fetus and splitting the list into 5 tanks and 5 carries. Instead, we're going to man up and we're going to rank them 1 to 10. This week I will try to be more concise, so if you want a more in-depth look at the champions on the list, I will include links to full game commentaries that I've done, and there will also be a mini guide infographic on the screen. Now if you just want me to shut up and get to the point, there's a too long didn't read with timestamps in the description, so you can just hop around the video as you see fit. Alright, let's hop right into the list. Coming in at the number 10 spot is Fiora. Fiora has fallen from grace with a chain of nerfs from the last 3 patches, with the patch 6.6 nerfs really hitting her hard. The passive going from a base of 3% down to 2% might not sound much, but that's 1/3 of her passive damage gone during the early game. This, combined with the other Fiora nerfs, left her really struggling in the early game. Matchups that would previously be somewhat close are turning into complete blowouts. The Fiora vs Poppy matchup used to be somewhat workable, but now Fiora just gets blown out. Fiora has even seen her build path get nerfed with the removal of Hydra swapping and the -15 AD nerf recently on Titanic Hydra. Now, with all that being said, Fiora is still a late game monster. The passive nerf matters a ton in the early game, but late game the difference between 10% true damage and 11% doesn't matter much. She is still the master duelist and split push monster, and I'm sure she'll rise up again on this list once the other top laners start seeing some nerfs. The number 9 spot goes to Maokai. Riot finally gave Maokai scaling magic resist and a bit extra to his base values. This is what Maokai has been needing for a while and will bring him back into the tank engaged top meta pool. Maokai used to struggle against AP tops and would get outscaled by the AP tank top laners, but this little bit of extra magic resist should certainly help out. Now with his newfound scaling, the rest of Maokai's kit fits perfectly with the current top meta. Maokai is a great team fighter with decent engage and amazing teleport flanks. I expect to see Maokai climbing this list as top tanks see nerfs in the coming patches. Coming in at number 8 is Rammus. Rammus is a very solid tank. He's got all the normal things that you look for in a top lane tank. He's got CC, engage, and he's very tanky. Rammus really excels in engaging in picks because he can use his incredible movement speed to gap close on enemies quickly. Rammus doesn't have many bad matchups in lane, and even if he gets poked out, he can always just powerball back to lane and return really quickly. Post 20-minute TP ganks with home guards and powerball means no one is getting away from Rammus. Even if he gets there way too early, he's tanky enough to CC the enemy while his team follows up. The number 7 spot goes to Kayle. I wanted to add Kayle to last week's tier list, but I removed her last minute. I feel like this was an error. Kayle is a monster in solo lanes, and specifically in top, she has amazing lane matchups and bullies most melees early. Kayle scales really well, and once she has her 3 core items, Nashor's, Rageblade, and Rylai's, it's game over. Kayle has huge split pushing potential, and with the recent nerfs to Fiora, no one can stand up against Kayle's late game split pushing power. Kayle's ultimate is game changing when used correctly, and it has a tiny cooldown and can be used almost every fight. Sometimes if the fight goes long enough, it can be even used twice. Kayle's team fighting is really good. Her heal and her ult provides tons of utility to your team's other carries, greatly increasing your team's backline power. I expect to see a lot more Kayle as people wake up and realize how powerful she is. The number 6 spot goes to Quinn. Quinn saw some nerfs to her Q, but let's be real, that blind was way too strong, and going from 2 seconds to 1.5 isn't going to hurt Quinn much. Quinn excels against melees because she has multiple ways to kite them, while being able to harass them constantly from range. Quinn nearly always gets a lead in lane, which fits perfectly with her kit, because it's all about making picks in the mid game. Your goal with Quinn is to get a lead in lane, and snowball the mid game by flying around with your ultimate and ganking everyone. Quinn has amazing wave clear with Q and ult and insane speed, allowing her to control both side waves and really pushing the tempo, upping the pressure on the enemy team. Quinn constantly pulls the enemy around the map while waiting for that moment where they wander out too far and overextend for the easy assassination. The number 5 spot goes to Malphite. Lots of stuff has been changing around him, but the rock remains unaffected. Malphite has been getting banned a lot lately, and it's for a reason. His engage is so powerful, and his ultimate is perfect for solo queue. It's the universal go 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 button. Malphite has great TP ganks when his ultimate is up, and with TP being used by everyone top, no one has ignite to kill Malphite in lane. Malphite excels against melee physical damage dealers because he can stack armor and become unkillable late game with his built-in armor death cap. Even if Malphite gets wrecked in lane, his ultimate can still carry his team to victory when timed correctly. Coming in at number 4 is Trundle. The troll has been loving the meta. Trundle can 1v1 smash all the carry tops early with his Q and insane level 6 all-in, and his ultimate deals with the tanks easily. With the old Tiamat passive returning, it gives Trundle a lot of wave clear early, which is an area that he used to struggle with. This is a nice buff. The Titanic Hydra nerf hurts Trundle a bit, but because of his W increase on healing, going Ravenous Hydra turns Trundle into a sustained god. Trundle is perfect in this meta, and you could easily make the case for him to be higher up on this list, but the problem is his late game scaling isn't up to snuff compared to the other laners in the top 3 spots. The number 3 spot goes to Nautilus. Naut is a CC machine that pumps out damage early game and mid game with high base values and low cooldowns. Nautilus has great engage range with his Q catching people out constantly, leading to numbers advantage and objective kills. In lane, Naut has great matchups against melee, but even against range, Naut can just use his E to farm and use his shield to block out harass. Naut is great at facilitating ganks with his endless lockdown, allowing even the slowest junglers to get into position to finish off the kill. Mid and late game, Nautilus is the ultimate frontliner. No one is getting past him without getting tagged by at least a slow or snare from his passive, allowing your backline to go ham and carry. Coming in at number 2 is Graves. Graves' top is insane right now. He is the ultimate lane bully with unrivaled pushing power and some of the scariest under-tower harass in the game. Warlord's granting lifesteal off minions allows Graves to constantly trade and heal back up off the minions. This allows him to have the sustained advantage and often leads to forcing his enemy to leave the lane first. The lifesteal tank build allows Graves endless sustain, synergizing really well with the free resistances he gets from E. This lets Graves dash right in front of the enemy, getting max damage while also healing through any return fire. Graves' only real weakness is being caught out by CC and being bursted down before his lifesteal and resistances from E can kick in. This weakness is easily shored up by items like QSS, Sterix Gauge, and Maw, allowing Graves to easily survive the CC and burst and then lifesteal tank back to full with autos and spells afterwards. The number 1 spot for patch 6.6 goes to Poppy. Nothing can stand up to Poppy right now. Her early game damage is insane, with her passive and Q double procs and her shield allowing her to take bad trades and still come out ahead. Poppy really shines in the mid and late game, using her increased mobility from W to catch and engage on the enemy. The rest of her kit allows her to lock the enemy down while she waits for her team to follow up. Poppy is just too strong at every stage of the game, even early game when you'd think she'd be her weakest because she scales so well as a tank, but nope, her passive is basically an extra ability in lane. Not too many champs can deal with the endless passive poke damage in lane, and when they do, they are forced to give up CS waiting for Poppy to use her passive on a minion. Poppy has some big nerfs coming on the PvE, so I'm sure this list will get shaken up again on the next patch, but for right now, Poppy is king. I hope you guys enjoyed the tier list. Let me know what your top 10 list looks like and why I'm wrong. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace!